Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you. Another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks. Sampler every series of videos I've been doing for a little while now. Go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff. Then, folks, I'm gonna talk about the stuff. I'm gonna let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not gonna lie. This has been in my fridge for a couple weeks, so it's getting reviewed finally. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammering on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck. And whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I'm wearing grody work clothes. Typically, when I'm inside the truck and I'm wearing grody work clothes, that means that I was on my way home from work and I found some shit to review for you. That is not the case, as I just stated. Now, like I said, I bought this a couple weeks ago. What was I doing? Forget if I was like going out to get supplies or the hell was I doing? But I remember I stopped off at some gas station that I never go to. And it wasn't much of a gas station, if I'm being honest. But, you know, I like to, when I stop in places like that, I like to peruse around and see if I can find something to grab to review. And it turned out that they had something. So, what is it? What am I reviewing for you today, folks? Well, it happens to be, boom, it's from Juvee, Rejuvenating Energy. This is their Tropical Crush flavored zero sugar energy drink, I guess. It's 5 calories, 100, wow, that's 127.5 milligrams of caffeine. That's like weirdly specific. Usually they're just like, fuck it, it's 200 to 300 or whatever. Weekend rejuvenation. Juvee is the energy drink. It's also a term for juvenile hall, but you know, Juvee is the energy drink that feels as good to drink as it tastes, meticulously crafted to power your play in every way. With each sip, you'll ask yourself, how does an energy drink taste this delicious? And why do I feel so rejuvenated? To which we have a canned response, a rejuvenating blend of B vitamins, taurine, caffeine, L-theanine, Panax and ginseng, and vitamin C. So, sure, what the fuck ever. I did review one of their other flavors. I do not remember what the flavor was, but I think I liked it. So we're gonna go into this and we'll do a little bit of a thing and kind of like this one. Ha 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 ha! Let's give it a go. Oh yeah. Open. I will say the tab is a little bit flimsy. It's not as bad as a couple others. I can't remember. There was one coffee company, and the fucking tabs on those things, man, those were shoddy. This, you could feel it wanting to give, so maybe get a better tab. It smells like a tropical energy drink. Let's give it a go. Okay. Well, that's mostly what it is until the very end, and then it gets a little bit funky. And not funky like funky, like a little bit funky. Yeah, I'll be honest. Like I said, I remember liking the other one. I maybe that one was better, or maybe I'm remembering incorrectly. Because this one, I'm not. It's okay, but I'm definitely not thrilled with it. At its best, it's a decent tropical flavored zero sugar energy drink. You know, it's not bad. The tropical flavor is fairly nice for what it is. Again, it's very generic though. Like it's definitely, you know, I've definitely had plenty of energy drinks that have a very similar flavor profile. The zero sugar aspect, it's relatively well disguised-ish. Like, it's there. It's not something you're gonna miss, but it's definitely not, like, egregious. It's not, like, a, you know, punching you in the face with that zero sugar flavor. What are you flavored with? Or sweetened with, rather. Sucralose. Yeah, that makes sense. Sucralose is, yeah. I knew it wasn't gonna be fucking, stevia. Stevia has a very distinct flavor. So yeah, it's you know, It's zero sugar, but then it's sweetened with sucralose. Uh, yeah, the overall flavor, it's just kind of a generic tangy tropical flavor. I wouldn't say that you're getting any real distinct flavors out of it, Maybe like a little bit of a mango pineapple kind of deal, but like not enough for it to really stand out. It's definitely a fairly generic flavor blend. I will say this, it drinks nice. Um, hmm, yeah, I mean it's all right. I don't I don't hate it, but I definitely don't love it. It's very kind of, it's okay. Uh, I will say that first hit was definitely the worst because like the tail end of it had a very weird aftertaste. But here's the thing. I've been doing these reviews long enough that I have learned that when I'm reviewing something that's drink related, especially if it's in like a can or something, I can't go off that first sip because that first sip is always going to be misleading. It's always where like, the flavor is all made its way up to the top and it's either going to be the best or the worst version of whatever it's supposed to taste like. In this case, it definitely had a stronger hit of the kind of fruity flavor, but then it also had a stronger hit of like the aftertaste, which was just really not good. So I'm glad that the aftertaste dropped off. The fruity flavor, again, not as oomphy as when it first started, but it's not bad. Still has a little bit of an aftertaste, and it's hard to describe what it is, but it definitely at the very end it becomes like much tartar or much more tart than the rest of the experience. Like to the point where like for most of it it's just okay. It's just again nice little tanginess to the tropical aspect, but then the very end it like really does just become sour, and I don't really like that very much. But it's fairly brief, so it's kind of live withable. Oh, all right. Well, two questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? No, and probably not. It's for me, like I said, the other one that I had, which was in a blue can, maybe it was blue raspberry flavor. I don't know. It's been like probably 2 months or so since I reviewed it. Um, it was fine for what it was. And like I said, I remember enjoying it. So when I went into this one, I was like, oh, cool. It's another one of these. Yeah, it definitely didn't meet my expectations, whatever they may have been. And it's not bad, but I think at best, I could say it's a decent tasting tropical energy drink, but it's not great. It does an okay job of hiding the zero sugar, so good on it there. But again, it is still there. It's just kind of, a little bit more subtle. I don't like the aftertaste. I think if it didn't have the aftertaste, I still don't think I would probably get it again. But at the very least, I could be a little bit more positive about it. Yeah, I mean, overall, it's not a bad experience, but I don't need it again. Like there's just so many other energy drinks that taste similar to this. And then there's so many other energy drinks that I just prefer whatever flavors those might be to this. I have no reason to add this into my repertoire of energy drinks. If I'm recommending it though, yeah, I don't really, here's the thing. I have a genuine fascination with energy drinks because like the way that they exist and like come in and out of existence, sometimes they'll just be there for a brief period of time, then you never see it again. It's so interesting to me, in its own weird way. So I'm always happy when I find like weird off-brand energy drinks. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're great, and it doesn't mean that I'm going to recommend them to anybody else. And at least for this flavor, again, go back and watch my one blue one, whatever the fuck it was. I think I had much nicer things to say, but at least this one, it's not bad or anything, but you don't really need it. Again, there's plenty of other stuff that does the similar job to this that I personally think are better. You've got like Celsius and stuff like that that are doing the zero sugar thing. This isn't bad, but it's just, it's not really doing anything to stand out in a particularly great way. So, excuse me. 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your year. Folks, go for yourselves a truly don't go to juvenile hall-tastic rest of your life. Yeah, let's go with that. I think that would probably be a good thing for most people. I mean, to be fair, maybe it helps you out. Maybe it helps straighten out your life. I was in some classes with some kids who had a little bit of juvenile hall experience. Nice enough folks. I don't know where they are these days, but final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do can't do it all the time. I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there whenever possible. Take a step back. Try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives. Hopefully, do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, I'm not going to ask. Part of me was like, hey, do you have any experience with juvenile hall? Why would I ask that? That's not a thing that anybody needs to ask. Well, you know what? What was your high school experiences like? Like I said, mine were pretty interesting, man. I got put into the special education program because I never did my fucking homework. And, so like I said, I ended up with some interesting characters because it was like, on the one hand, it's like, well, this kid went over there and got into a fight with a teacher, like a physical fight with a teacher. This kid goes over there and goes on curse-laden rants, at random. And here's Brandon with his shitty $10 fucking Red Dragon shirt from Walmart. He doesn't do his homework. So that was interesting for me. It's like, oh boy. But no, genuinely, like, it wasn't a bad experience. I seriously credit that whole program with basically allowing me to go over there and fucking, graduate and fucking do what I needed to do, because, I just had a lot of shit in my life at that time that was just made it hard for me to thrive in an academic environment. So thankfully I had really good teachers, and honestly, a lot of the students and stuff, yeah, some of them were rough around the edges, but, genuinely, most of them were really cool people. So, but anyway,